when I finally realized I was $187,000 in debt, I honestly thought someone was going to come and just be like, it's okay, Simone, that we made a mistake. It's all going to go away. And I finally realized this is not going away and I need to change something. I need to choose a different reality with my finances, with my money. I need to, start using some tools, the access consciousness tools, which I pretty much refused to use around money. I started using them and my financial reality changed. If you start demanding more to show up, like that instant actualization, the magic, then more can show up. But you have to ask and you have to be in question. Who do you know at the moment who's walking around going, yay, I'm really great with money. Like I've got all the money I need and I don't have a problem. Everybody is talking about the struggles that they have with money. There's so much going on. But here's the thing. First, number one, I want you to ask when you wake up or throughout the night or whenever it is that you wake up and start stressing about money. Actually, two things with this. Number one, has stress ever created anything greater for you? I think not. Okay. So stress is not going to create something greater. So if you ask a question, what's right about this I'm not getting? Who does this belong to? Okay. That's the second tool here. Who does this belong to? You are way more aware and way more psychic than what you've been willing to acknowledge. And you keep picking up on other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions about money. It's not yours. Okay. It's not yours. We all go through these different stages with money, right? So I was, in debt. To me, it was a lot of money. Some of you might be more in debt. Some of you might be less. You might, be 10,000 or 5,000 or 1,000 in debt, or it could be 1,000,000, anything, right? Same points of view apply. So when you use these tools, you can change that. Now, I changed my financial reality. I have money, I have investments, I don't struggle, I'm in all of this and more. And yet, there's this energy around like my expenses are way higher. And recently I'm like, gosh, there's just an energy that shifted in my world. And I went recently looking at some houses in Italy to maybe purchase with a friend of mine. And we didn't find anything we liked, but gosh, did we gain a lot of awareness. And I said to my friend on the way back, I said, hey, what awareness did you gain? And he said, the most thing I gained was this inspiration to create again, to create more. And for me, that is such a key piece. If you start demanding more to show up, like that instant actualization, the magic, allowing chaos, allowing yourself to be out of control with so many different situations, including money, then more can show up. But you have to ask and you have to be in question. I would like to increase my income. I would like to increase the revenue streams, supporting the revenue streams, etc. Even if you just take that away today, ask how many more revenue streams can I receive? And also ask what revenue streams can support this revenue? Because I see so many really creative people and they're like, this. What revenue stream is going to support it? Okay, that's such a good tool. So please enjoy this excerpt from Getting Out of Debt Joyfully in Poland many, many years ago. So Getting Out of Debt Joyfully is a book that I wrote. It's created a great deal of change for so many people. And the reason why I wrote it is because I was $187,000 in debt about 17 years ago now. It was about 17 years ago when I met Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and Dr. Dane here. And I realized that I was creating a lot of debt. You couldn't tell, like I wasn't one of those people who walked around going, oh my God, poor Peter for me, I have no money. I actually looked like I had money. Because also if you said to me, do you want to go here shopping? Do you want to get this? Do you want to do that? I was like, yes, that would be great. And I was definitely living a champagne lifestyle, as they say, on a beer budget. And I realized that I kept thinking that my money situation was going to change. Someone was going to come along and wave a magic wand and change my financial reality, and I'd wake up and I'd have money in the bank account. And I loved the Access Consciousness tools. When I met Gary and Dane and heard the tools, I was like, oh my God, this is everything that I knew is possible. Like when I heard these guys talk about, tools in different areas of your life, I was using the Access Consciousness tools. And then one day in a class, I'm sitting in the class, as you guys are, And I'm listening to them talk about these tools using with money. And I'm like, oh yeah, here we go again, blah, 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 tools on money, you know. And I was sitting there and I thought, you know what? This is crazy. Every other area that I've used the Access Consciousness tools has worked and has changed areas of my life. So what if I just gave this a shot, you know? What if I just tried these tools out? And the one thing that I demanded of myself at that moment too was, I was going to do it for me, not for anyone else. So I sat in the audience and I went, okay, I'm going to make a demand of myself and a request of the universe to change my financial reality. What can I start with? What are some of the tools that I could start with? So I started to use about 3 or 4 tools that started to change my financial reality. And I didn't tell anyone because I wanted to know that I could do it and I could create it. And not that I wasn't willing to receive assistance. It's like, how many people do you know if you meet up with somebody, and most people at a party or, you know, I don't know, Christmas time or something, they're always like, oh my God, the bills that are coming in are ginormous, you know, and then the kids' school fees came in and then this and then that. And they're always complaining about their credit card, about how much money they don't have. And then what does the next person do standing next to them? They start doing the exact same thing. Almost like, oh, you know what? You're lucky. You've only got that. You know what I've got? And it's like they try and compete with each other for poverty. It's like, seriously? It's like, so here's one tool that I would like to give you is, what if the next time you were in a situation like that, when everyone is complaining about the lack of money, you go, you know what? I'm so sorry to hear that you have such a bad money problem. I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. It's like, you know what? I'm having a lot of fun with money. And then stop. And they'll be like, what? Because it doesn't match this reality. And how many of you are trying to match this reality with the poverty mentality? Rather than be the one in the room that's going, no, I'm great. I'm cool with money. Which might mean you have $10 in the bank account, or 10 zloty, or $10,000, 10,000 zloty. It doesn't matter how much you have. It's like, it's your point of view. And that was one of the things I realized that I had to change, was my point of view around money. Because I also realized that all of the points of view I had around money, it's like, were they even mine? I mean, one of the things that I grew up with as a child around the dinner table, we weren't allowed to talk about business or money. It was considered rude. I wanted to talk about business and money. My dad was great at business. My brother studied business. I was interested in it. So I wanted to talk about it, but you weren't allowed to. You had to make it something that was not a family discussion, not something that was creative. It was something that you did over there. And then here you spoke about, you know, I don't know, the guy who lived down the road, brothers, sisters, aunt who, you know, just got married. And I'm like, really? That's our conversation? Rather than what can we create? So I realized that it wasn't my point of view not to talk about money. If someone asks a question about money, it's just money. So I have a 13-year-old son now, and any question he asks, I'll give him the information. If someone can ask a question, give them the information. And his father was taught growing up that you don't talk about money either. So every time he would ask and say, oh, how much is that? He goes, it's none of your business. Whereas if Nash now asks me, how much is that? And I'm like, I'll tell him. Tell him how much it costs to create this. Or sometimes he'll be like, I wish you didn't have to travel so much. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, so if I didn't travel so much, it's like, it's my work. And I was like, then I'd be home, but you wouldn't have this, this, and this. Would that be okay with you? And then he goes, oh yeah, I really like that. I get these things. And I'm like, okay. So give him the information of how this works. The first thing I did was change my point of view around money. And each and every time a point of view came up, I asked, is this my point of view around money? Is this somebody else's? You can create more money. You can change your point of view around money and ask for more to show up. You have to be willing to take action though. You have to be willing to choose a different reality. Because I was really good at choosing the poverty mentality. I was really good at choosing to be in debt. And one of the things I realized as well is I liked being in debt. In fact, it was comfortable being in debt. I loved it. So one of my questions would be is, what do you love about being in debt? Or what do you love about having no money? When you ask that question, most people go, oh, but I don't I don't love it. Well, there's something you like about it if you're creating it. One of the things I realized is when I actually got out of debt, when I actually started using the tools and I realized I had money, I'm on my computer and I had, I've got money in my bank account, and I was like, wow, I was so disappointed because it felt so boring. It was like, and so many people I see use no money as the source of creation. If they have no money, then they'll have to get to work. If they have no money, and they wait to the last possible minute before they can create it. Rather than, what if you had too much money and never enough? Like, what if every single year in January you got given $1 million or €1 million into your bank account? What would you create? Would you still be doing the same job? Would you be living in the same house? What would you be choosing? So what would you be choosing? How many of you use no money as the source of creation? So how many insane points of view do you have around money that keep you locked in a comfortable place of debt rather than an uncomfortable space of abundance? So how many people are you refusing to receive from and being incredibly unkind by refusing to receive, that if you actually started receiving, would not only change your financial reality, would change them? Start by going, okay, you know what? Enough. I'm not doing this anymore. I will start to receive, even if it makes me incredibly uncomfortable. Can you see how, if you're willing to change your point of view around money, that it starts to ricochet all of these different areas? Like, I realized the insane points of view. I realized, where I wasn't willing to receive. And but I was in question constantly of, is this my point of view around money? Choose for you, okay? Choose what works for you. That's what Access Consciousness is about. That's what I would like you to have, is the choice to choose anything. And guess what that includes? Money, okay? Financial freedom, you might call it, or just the choice. Like, this is our life. This is your life. Are you living as much as you would like to?